Okay. So the manager of the restaurant found that the cost to produce 100 cups of coffee is $11.02, while the cost to produce 400 cups is $40.12. We want to assume that the cost function is linear. Big assumption. If we don't make that assumption, we can't use a linear cost function. So X is the number of cups produced. And first step, they want us to find the formula for the cost function. Second, fixed cost. Once we have parts A and B, the rest is easy. Good. So let's take note of the question. What we need is 100 cups of coffee, of course. So when X is equal to 100, what is C of X? Write that down. I will write it again. When X is 100, what is C of X? $11.02. When X is equal to 400, what is C of X? $40.12. Do you believe that this is a case where the intercept is 0? No. Pushing go. Kevin, why not?
Just gonna have to guess here. It's because they're both positive slopes.
True.
There is going to be a fixed cost.
That is very true. There is going to be a fixed cost from a realistic sense. But just by reading the problem, you should know whether an intercept is going to play a part or no. I can say that we need an intercept because I know, but can you spot it? So from 100 to 400, what is the multiplier? You have to go from 100 to 400. 4. So you multiplied X by 4. So you would naturally multiply Y by 4. If you multiply Y by 4, what is the amount that you should get? $44.08. Is that the case? No, which means there is an intercept. Good. So even before you start the problem, you should know that whether an intercept is going to play a part or not. In this case, it does. Good. Okay. That said, where should we? In the previous case, we had two linear functions, one supply, another demand. You need to have two functions, two things, if we are going to find intersection. That is not the objective of this problem. All we are trying to do is find the linear cost function. So I've got this, that I'm going to call, or the book calls the number of cups as X, corresponding cost, C of X. And last class, I mentioned instead of this variable, we will be using C of X. What is that single letter? Y. I'll just call it MC, FC. MC stands for marginal cost, FC, fixed cost. Great. How do we find it? So we want to find the slope in order to find this equation, so for starters, marginal cost is my slope. The formula that we have is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Do we have x1, y1, x2, y2? Is it given in the problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right. The name.
Brady.
Huh?
Brady.
Brady, close. Just missed the Y. Go ahead.
It's the 100.
Very good. So I can call the first one as x1, next x2, y1, y2. So naturally the formula is 8.12 minus 11.02 divided by 400 minus 100. You can use a calculator. Verify my answer. Is that right? Yes. So that is the marginal cost. Great. Got this part right. We need to find the fixed cost. How do we find the fixed cost? Which is nothing but the y-intercept.
Can we plug in a set of the X and Y values with this little
Okay, what is your name?
jack?
Jacques suggests, well, or ask me, well, could we plug in, the values to find fixed cost? Should we go with what Jacques says? Don't think. Yes. Does it matter which point we plug in? No. You can either pick this or that is in the equation to solve for fixed cost. So, unlike that, so when x2 is 400, what does x2 represent? Marginal cost,
Number of cups.
the number of cups of coffee. Y2 is 40.12. Plug in 400 in there. And solve for fixed cost. Go ahead. Do it again. Let's see. Five more. Yes. Do check my own stuff, don't mess it up. You can correct. Okay, so we've got the marginal cost, we've got the fixed cost, and I'll erase this. So, Is there a way to verify our answer?
Just plug in those.
Very good. So you can take one of the x's or both of them, plug it in the equation, you should get the corresponding y values. Great. Okay. You have your calculator. The next part wanted you to find the cost when you produce 1,000 cups. A 1,001 cups. Give it a try.
$98.
Example.
No, $98.37.
$98.37 and 1,001.
It's 32 cents, not 37.
Okay. So we plug in for 1,000
$98.42.
Okay. So that's what they want to find. So we have produced 1,000 cups of coffee. And now that you have 1,000 cups, if I have to produce the next cup, what is that marginal cost that I incur? What is that answer?
10 cents.
10 cents. How did you get that?
You find the difference between the two values.
You find the difference between the two values. I could have gotten this answer from somewhere else.
Just take the slope and add it on to the 1,000 cups.
So take the slope and add it on, or just look at the
You
slope.
have 98.32, you take the 97,000 percent,
Okay,
add it to get the 1,001 cups.
louder, what's your name?
Cameron,
Cameron, louder, louder.
if you take the 0.097 and once you find the 1,000 cups, to find the 1,001 cups, all you have to do is add the
0.097. Okay, so a single unit change will increase the value of cost by exactly that amount. Yes, so if you go from 1,000 to 1,001, you will increase the value by 0.097. If you round that number, what will you get?
0.1.
0.1. If I have to increase by 2 units, what would the cost be? In other words, if I went from 1,000 to 1,002.
20 cents. You just add 20 cents. You'd add 20 cents.
0.6,
When you just add 20 cents.
20 cents,
Yeah.
right, approximately. So with each unit increase, the cost is going to increase by that value. Good. Typically, we don't look at, 1000th and 10th cup, rather first cup, second cup, that's it. So instead of doing that calculation each and every time, one can simply look at the slope, which is the marginal cost. It simply gives us the change in cost per unit increase in constant. The key word here being per unit. So the slope, instead of simply writing it as 0.097, so $0.097 per cup. Good. But sometimes students have difficulties identifying the units properly. With practice, certainly you can come up with it, but an easier way, it's another question. An easier way would be this. That is our cost function. Cost is measured in dollars, and you do the unit arithmetic. The final answer must be in dollars. So 0.097. What is X measured in?
Number of cups.
Number of cups. So $0.097 per cup times unit for X cups. What is the unit for Y-intercept? X cups. So the unit has to be X cost. Cost. So what is the unit? Dollars, thank you. So cup gets cancelled, dollar, resulting answer is in dollars. That's another way to find the unit of marginal cost. Good. If you graph this line in your calculator, what should it look like? I actually gave you the answer. A line. What is the y-intercept? 1.32. You can give me the answer to this. We went over the explanation for marginal cost. So how would you interpret the fixed cost? So marginal cost depends on the number of cups. A fixed cost does not. So no matter how many cups you produce, we will end up spending $1.32. Nathan went for a specific case of taxes. Perhaps it is taxes, who knows? It could come from anything. So it is a fixed cost, but whether you produce or not, you'd end up paying that amount. Are we clear? Marginal cost in this case, is a problem, $75. In other words, it is the amount that you would incur with one additional item. If you produce one extra item, the price will be $75. And the cost to produce 82 items is 4,800. We want to find the fixed cost. We are assuming a linear cost function. So I'm going to start with the equation, which is C of x is equal to MC times x plus FC. If you want to use a different letter, go for it, or different letter, go for it. I'm writing it this way, so you can understand it easily. So 75, 82. Let's write it properly. Doesn't matter, but again, that won't confuse you. What should be on the left hand side? 4,800. What stopped you from going past that? You stopped. Okay. Did anyone else get stuck in that step? Did something stop you?
I kind of thought I was on because it came out as a negative number.
Very good. Rob thought wrong because it came out as negative. So another hint. I did this intentionally. So if you move this term to the other side, I believe you end up getting negative 1350 plus fixed cost. So no matter what you do, you are going to have a fixed cost that is negative. What should the final equation be?
Minus 1350.
So, as far as this class is concerned, going along with Rob's thought process, the fixed cost is always going to be positive. It is a cost. But does that mean a situation like this could never arise in real life? Vincent?
What about with like a subscription service where even if you put nothing out, you're getting payments from people who are subscribed?
Okay, that's great. Thomas, did you have something to say? Do you follow my question?
If you like a donation or something.
Very good. It could be like a donation. Perhaps you wanted to start a company and say someone is donating a starter fund or something. You did not put any money into the business, but you end up getting profit out of it. So that initial investment is a negative. It is a negative cost. So very good, and same with subscription also. So even though we are getting a negative answer, that doesn't make it wrong. In practice, this could be donation, something. So wrong. It happens when people see a negative value. Students immediately come to a conclusion that perhaps they have the wrong answer. Not true. It could be negative. It simply means investment of some sort where someone just gave you money. It doesn't happen in real life, but well,